Hi everyone, Bill McHugh here. There have been a lot of questions about the Jackey's Creek property and what exactly happened with that property at the September 22nd council meeting. So before we get into that property specifically, let's take a step back and talk about development in North Carolina. Under North Carolina state law, development is by right. If you own a piece of property, you have the right to develop it subject to reasonable zoning restrictions. If you are within the boundaries of a town, of a municipality, that municipality sets those rules. If you're not, you're in an unincorporated area of a county, and the county sets those rules. There are very limited circumstances under which a local government, or frankly any government, can tell someone in North Carolina that they cannot develop their property. None of those conditions are being met in Leland right now, and anyone who tells you otherwise either doesn't understand the laws of North Carolina or isn't being honest with you. So at the September 22nd meeting, two things occurred. First, we had a hearing on annexation. So annexation means that a piece of the unincorporated county would be annexed into the town of Leland, leaving them under our jurisdiction, subject to our rules, receiving our services, and paying our taxes. This property itself specifically was surrounded by the town of Leland. It was essentially a donut hole in our municipal boundaries. So to not annex it would not have been in the best interest of the community of Leland. And that's why it passed unanimously. The entire council recognized that we needed to make this a part of our community so we could have some sort of control over what happens there, while also making sure that they pay for the services that they will inevitably be using. The second thing that occurred was the rezoning. Because our zoning districts are so different than the counties, all property that's annexed must be immediately rezoned to Leland's rules. So we set the ends of that property to our flex code and the middle of the property to a PUD. PUD is like what you would see with Brunswick Forest or Mallory Creek or many of the neighborhoods in our community. The good news is in the town of Leland, the maximum number of units per acre is 6. Under the previous zoning, it was over 7, meaning that in that area, there will be, by right, the ability to build 1,200 fewer residences. So there will be no less than 1,200 fewer residences built there under Leland's rules than there would have been under the county's rules. So the flex code on either end focuses a little bit more on form than being as rigid as many other zoning districts. It's not purely commercial or residential. It allows for mixed use. It promotes walkability and pedestrian friendly, and it puts a really, really large focus on conservation and preservation of land. A huge portion of it, no matter which area is picked, has to be set aside for much lower density development. And there's a 5% civic space requirement, which means that 5% of the property must be set up for spaces for the public. You'll find, some smaller green fields, forested areas, potential parks, dog parks. That's what it's designed to do, is create some areas for the community to use in addition to these businesses or homes that are being developed there. There's also an institutional use for it, which will promote the ability to bring additional schools, medical facilities, and even a potential hospital. Everyone knows that the medical infrastructure in this entire region is incredibly taxed, so this creates an opportunity to bring that right into the heart of Leland. We know that by bringing this into the town and subjecting it to the town's rules, whatever we get there is going to be much better than what could have been there without that happening. So this will be done under the watchful eye of our community and our planning department, our buildings and inspections department. Our zoning requirements in many, many ways are stricter than the county's. So we are looking at something that's going to be better for all of us. I'm sure there's a lot of questions and there's a whole lot more to talk about. If you want to ask me anything, if you want to have a further discussion, you know where to find me, bmchugh@townofleland.com. Thank you all for your time, for your involvement, and for caring about your community.